Now we'll add more detail to the upper body during the pullback. We'll bring back our control curves, and what we want to do first off is go to where the character stops at about frame 162, and we want to have the character make it seem as if he's really struggling all the way to the end here, especially at the end. So let's go to our perspective and graph view, and on frame 162 we're gonna just adjust his body some so that it looks as if he put more forth all of his effort all the way to the end. So let's go ahead and rotate him back in the X a little bit, and then we'll also go ahead and rotate him back slightly in his back control some, and then for his chest let's actually move that forward. Okay, and then we want to check out the curves that we're setting. Okay, let's go back to his center of gravity, and let's have him translate down some in the Y. Okay, for that. Alright, great. So here's what we're getting now as he's pulling back. Alright, and then we can go to his shoulders and move those more forward. Okay, so that just to about the point where the arms are about bent but are still locked. That's what we've been doing before, and we'll do the same thing for the left shoulder. Bring that forward, and also we want to bring the shoulders up as well, since the character has moved down a little bit more. So bring them up a slight bit more in the Z, making sure that the arm is still locked. Okay, and we could do the same thing for the right shoulder. Again, going to the rotate Z and bringing it up, but making sure that the arm is still locked. Alright, great. So now when we scrub through, we're getting this better feeling of him really pulling with all of his effort all the way to the end of the animation. Great. Okay, so that's looking better. And we could even make an adjustment to his head now. Let's select his neck, and on frame 162 we could just move that back, and also his head too, to really show the strain. So there we go. And if we go ahead and hide our curves and focus in on the perspective and hit play, here's what we get. Awesome. So that's looking pretty good. Now we have a few adjustments to make on that left arm, because the that motion is a little bit off. If we can scrub through, we can see that. See how it's moving back at around this time here, and then it moves forward again. So let's fix that. We'll bring back our controls, go to the shoulder control, and let's go into our perspective and graph view. Okay, so here's our problem. Let's focus on this key on frame 89. We'll hit F. Okay, it's because of our broken tangency here. So let's adjust that. What we can do is let's flatten out our tangency here, and then we'll unify our tangent. So we'll basically bring it back to the point where it was before it was broken, so that it'll stay together by selecting this icon. Okay, notice there has been a change made to the arm already from doing so. Alright, so that's good. And let's now go to where the arm is bending on about frame 107. Let's go ahead and bring up the rotate Y here, or bring it back some, excuse me. And then adjust our tangency. We'll hit F and adjust it so we get a better flow going on here. Great, so now that arm isn't popping as it once was. Let's check out more of a side view of that left arm. Alright, and it's looking pretty good. Okay, so that's fixed for now. So once we have this, what we are now currently going to work on is having the character basically move down or drop down as he gets closer to the end. Okay, so what he's going to do, Let's go ahead and bring back our graph view. Go to the translate Y. And what he's going to do is at about frame 136 or so, he's actually going to drop down. Okay, so let's with the translate Y of the center of gravity, we'll have him move down a bit here. Okay, and then he's going to rise up afterwards for once he gets to the end of the pull. Okay, so getting some pretty good motion out of here now, but what we need to do is fix the arms. So let's go to the rotate Z on frame 136, and let's bring up the arms here since he's moved down there. Do the same thing for the left arm. Bring that up some more. Okay, and then we're also going to want to go ahead and bring the arm back and the rotate Y some. So we'll work on that on frame 136. Let's go ahead and rotate the arm back so that the arm is locked again. And we can fix the tangency here. Fix the flow. Do the same thing for the left one. Bring in the rotate Y back. And go to the rotate Y and fix the flow. So when we scrub through, okay, that's much better. Let's check out more of a top view, focusing on the arms. Okay, so that left arm needs to lock up a little bit more. So let's go to frame 107 and take that key on 107 and just hold shift and middle mouse button, click and drag up so that that left arm will be locked. Alright, great. Excellent. So now next, what we need to do is make sure that the character is not dropping down until we don't want him dropping down from frames 89 all the way to 136. We want to add a little bit of anticipation to his drop. So we'll have him move up and then back down. So let's go to frame 100 and we'll just translate him up some here. Okay, and we'll fix his key. So he's going to stay in about that position on frame 89, and then boom, he goes into his drop, and then he moves back up. So here's how it looks when we hit play. Great. So that's looking pretty good. But what we also want to do is have him hold for a little bit longer. Okay, from a little bit after frame 136, and then move up. So how are we going to do that without adding extra keys onto our F curve? Well, we'll simply use weighted tangency and free the tangent weight, and what that allows us to do is basically have holds in our animation and even speed up the time in which certain actions occur without, again, adding extra keys onto our F curve. So let's select this key on frame 136, and we'll go ahead and right mouse button click in our graph editor workspace view, and we'll go all the way down to the last selection. It is getting cut off in the video, but you'll still be able to navigate to it. It's called weighted tangency, so just select that. And notice now what happens to our F curve. Notice how the tangency thickens, meaning that there's weighted tangency there now. But what we also need to do is flatten or free the tangent weight. So let's select this icon now, and now notice that the ends of our tangent handles open up. So watch what we're able to do now. If we select this right half, for example, and middle mouse button click and drag, notice we're able to change the influence of this F curve. Alright, great. So once we have that freed, we'll now break the tangency and just select this right half, middle mouse button click and drag a little bit more to the right, holding shift to just isolate the movement horizontally. So now what we get is a little change in our motion, slight change if we hide our curves and hit play. So now the character drops down and holds for a little bit longer while he's down, and then comes up after, and he comes up a little bit faster like we want him to. Great. So after we've completed these things, that also wraps up this lesson, and in the next lesson we're going to work more on this end section here, okay, right towards the end of the animation.